Hey y'all, what's up? It's your boy Evan. Welcome to the cartoon block. Today I'm gonna show y'all how to draw Daredevil, the man without fear. Let's get started.
So guys, let's get started. We're going to be using the Prismacolor Cool Erase red pencil today. And like we always do about this time, we're going to start sketching out his head. Just kind of like a basic general circle shape. Nothing perfect, just stay loose and sketchy. Next, we're going to go ahead and put in the center guideline. His head will be a 3/4 front pose. Then we're going to add a horizontal curved eye line. Just go down midway down the circle. And then we're going to add in his nose line, which will begin towards the bottom of that circle. Now take the distance between his eyes and nose line, double that, and that will give you the distance down to his chin line. And then we're going to go ahead and just kind of connect it on the side over here. And then going back to his jawline, go back to where like the midway side of his head, and that will be where his ears are going to go. I'm going to kind of go ahead and bring in his head a little bit thinner in here in the back area and add a outline for his ears and make his head a little bit bigger. He's going to be tilted down. His head will be tilted down towards us. And I'm drawing too many construction lines here, so I'm going to go ahead and erase a few of them. Now let's tackle the eyes. Starting out, on the eye line, you want to go ahead and just put in kind of like a check mark for his eyebrow area, and then draw kind of like a slanted pyramidish kind of shape for his eyes, and then do the same thing for his other eye. Draw starting out with his eyebrow on the eye line, and then have his eye sticking out from that. And I may want to do some adjusting on this. His right eye over here, the one that's furthest away from us, it's not quite right. And you can take your time with this too. You can find any kind of reference to draw his diamond-shaped eye over here, and just be loose with it. Nothing finite. And I want to kind of just take my time with it. And this is really what drawing is, kind of going back and forth until you like what you see. Then we're going to go ahead and put his nose in here. And as you can see, I kind of got off my center guideline. That's okay. Feel free to go ahead and go with the flow of your drawing if you know what path you're going down. But stick with the guideline if you need to. But if you get off of it, no sweat. So this time I'm going to go ahead and draw his nose as a pyramid shape. I normally don't do this, but I want you guys to see how we draw the nose, being in this kind of downward position almost. And I want to go ahead and adjust a few more of his eyebrow lines. Since I moved the center of my face over from the guideline, I got to continue to move a few of his other features over too. I wish I hadn't done that, but you guys can see that even I make mistakes too. So let's go ahead and kind of darken in his lines on his nose here. I'm going to erase some of the guidelines, but I want you guys to see the pyramidish shape of the nose. I'm going to put in some of the darker renderings of his nose on the bridge. And now moving down to his mouth. It's kind of like a bird shape, if you want to draw it like that. And then put a little small indication for his lower lip. And that eye is still bugging me. Ever since I moved his face over and I didn't stick with the guideline, I now have to kind of tweak and adjust to move everything else over as well. The eyebrows shifted and the eye shifted too. So let this be a lesson to you boys and girls. Always stick with your guidelines. I paid the cost. But no sweat, we can always fix it. And that's what art is. You're constantly drawing, erasing, and tweaking the things that you need. Don't think that any comic book or animation professional or illustrator is always drawing everything pristine and perfect. That doesn't happen. So now we're going to start putting in Daredevil's mask. And I'm kind of just following the contours of his face. His mask is very similar to Batman's lower mask. Similar to Batman's, Wolverine's. All their masks are generally the same. And so we're going to go ahead and start darkening in the outer line of his face here. Make sure his cheekbones are there, and then kind of coming down to his jawline. I'm going to put in a guideline here from this side of the jawline to the other to make sure his jaw lines are lined up. This is to ensure that his jaws are, symmetrical, and you're not drawing your face too far skewed or out of perspective. And I'm going to put in a few wrinkles for his cheeks right here by his nose, his cheekbones, and kind of get some of those folds in his skin a little bit more. Daredevil kind of has more of these because he's more of a weathered and rugged character. Next, we're going to put in the kind of muscles for his brow ridge above his eyebrow area. I want to make sure that they're slightly indicated up here. Nothing too complex. And we're going to go ahead and round out the back of his head over here because we see the top of his head. And then kind of darken in his outer ear area here. And go around. Let me flesh that out some more and just make that a little bit more smooth. Yeah, it looks much better. And now we want to begin drawing his horns. We first want to start out with like an oval shape over here on the side, and his horns are located in the upper corner of his forehead. Not on top of his head, but in the upper corners of his forehead. Then you want to draw a guideline towards the other side of his forehead and make sure that the horns are lined up. And here we want to put a circle because this horn is facing us directly at the camera. So the point would be facing us too. And then kind of just draw a little bit darker on the parts you want to like show shading or whatnot. Now I'm going to erase my guidelines and kind of just flesh this out a little bit more. And that's all we need for his horn. And I want to draw some more rendering around his ears over here on the side. And there you have it. That's the basic head for Daredevil. Thanks for watching. And if you want to see more of my sketches and you're interested in getting tips on how to break into animation and comics, then click the link and grab my sketchbook. It's now available for digital download.